So the new Transformers movie trailer has just dropped, but did you know that this new ape, Optimus Prime, is actually based on a cartoon? I can't believe that I almost forgot about Transformers Beast Wars, the 1990s computer-generated cartoon, which helped to revolutionize the use of CGI, as well as put Transformers on the map in the 90s and the early 2000s. Hello everyone, welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. Join me today as we take a deep dive into this gem of a cartoon from the late 90s and early 2000s that would go on to inspire the newest Transformer movie, Transformer Beast Wars. Transformers Beast Wars was a 52-episode CGI animated television series produced by Mainframe Entertainment in Canada. Transformers Beast Wars would be the start of the Beast line of Transformers. Strangely enough, though, this show never made its way to the United States. Well, minus a brief viewing of the final 5 episodes of Season 2, which would air on Cartoon Network's Toonami for just 1 week. No, unfortunately, we here in the United States wouldn't be blessed with this CGI robot animal goodness until 1999 with the introduction of the next show in the series, Transformers Beast Machines, which many millennials out there might recognize instantly.
And if we're talking unnatural life forms, then we gotta be talking about just one thing: robots in disguise!
As I said earlier, Transformers Beast Wars is unique in that it is a CGI computer-animated TV series compared to the traditional way of making comics and anime drawing for normal cartoons. While yes, these animations and CGI are obviously extremely dated at the time right now of recording, in the mid-90s, no one had really seen anything like Transformers Beast Wars. No one had seen a full CGI series like this, and it's interesting how this simple children's cartoon would come to play a major role in the advancement of CGI. Transformers Beast Wars follows the story of Optimus and his team of allies as they look to stop the mini-plots of Megatron. The plot of Beast Wars takes place some 300 years after the events of the Transformers cartoon of the 80s, and does an actual impressive job maintaining continuity of the many events that took place throughout this show. Our story follows the Maximals and the Predacons, descendants of the Autobots and Decepticons. While engaged in a battle in space, the Maximals and the Predacons' ships take heavy damage, forcing them to crash land on a strange, unknown planet. Little do our characters know, but this is Earth in the long-distant past, as the Maximals and Predacons have accidentally gone back in time. After crash landing, our robots discover that this strange planet is full of energon, the energy source which powers our robot friends and which Megatron is constantly hunting. But you see, the power source is so great, it has the ability to overload their circuits, rendering them useless. Thus, in order to explore this new planet, they must take on new forms, the forms of the most dominant creatures and life forms that inhabit this world. Enter our team of our iconic heroes: the leader, Optimus Primal, voice acted by Gary Chalk; the hacker, Rat Trap, voice acted by Scott McNeil; Rhinox, the tech expert, voice acted by Richard Newman; Cheater, the impulsive rookie, voice acted by Ian James Corlett; and finally, and my personal favorite character, Dinobot, a Predacon who joined forces with the Maximals, also voice acted by Scott McNeil. Over the series, there is a number of other allies and protagonists who join our team, such as Tigatron, Air Razor, Silverbolt, and Depth Charge, but for now, we're just gonna focus on these original members. Our group of heroes have chased down the Predacons, who have stolen a valuable treasure, the Golden Disc, which contains ancient and sacred knowledge, such as the location of a planet with large stores of energon. The Predacons are led by Megatron, voice acted by David Kaye, the main antagonist and the leader of the Predacons, a team that features such memorable baddies such as Waspinator, Tarantulas, Scorponok, Black Arachnia, and Quick Strike, just to name a few. After traveling to the past on accident and crash landing on an ancient Earth, the Maximals must find a way to defeat and capture Megatron, as well as to protect the Earth in the future from the many dangers that would try and destroy it. Generally, the plot is advanced along through many battle scenes between our two factions, oftentimes the robots meeting in the wild as they look to acquire and find stasis pods which have fallen from orbit. These stasis pods contain other protoform Transformer robots with underdeveloped forms that can be made to fight for either side, Maximal or Predacon. Generally, these stasis pods are used as a plot device to advance the story, as well as to introduce new characters. Surprisingly, this show is actually pretty good. While the CGI and animations nowhere near hold up to today's standard, it does give Beast Wars a very unique feel, as really no other show, especially at this time, had attempted such an extensive use of CGI. And I gotta give the folks over at Mainframe Entertainment credit. With every season they continued to put out of Transformers Beast Wars, the CGI got better and better, along with the writing and the storytelling. The characters in Beast Wars are fun and memorable, many displaying the same personalities throughout all of Transformers as a series as a whole, such as Optimus, but while still being dynamic and interesting. One of the most impressive things to me about Transformers Beast Wars was the level of continuity the series has, especially for a kids show. The story was episodic in nature, but there was a through line that ran through the entire series. The show will constantly make references to events that happened previously in Beast Wars, along with events that happened previously in the 1980s Transformers cartoon. A pretty big endeavor for, remember, just a kids show. Surprisingly, this show made some major waves at the time, winning a Daytime Emmy Award in 1997 for Outstanding Individual Achievement in Animation, as well as being considered by many reviewers and critics to be the best written story of the many Transformers series and shows, as well as advancing the ever-growing technology of CGI. But you see, if this show was so good and so impactful, how come it never made its way into America? Well, like I said earlier, technically it did. The show did air in America, but seemingly under odd circumstances. It would take until the late second season for Beast Wars to finally get its chance in front of an American audience, with Cartoon Network in 1998 deciding to air the last 5 episodes of Season 2 on their popular Toonami block for just 1 week. Yes, you heard me right there. The network only aired the remaining 5 episodes of Season 2, which, to be fair, are some pretty banging episodes, and literally just for 1 week. It would take a few years before Beast Wars would once again appear in American households in 1999, this time on Fox Kids, or what would later become 4Kids TV.
Oh yeah? How's about I cut Mises to pieces?
So to better understand the awesomeness that was this show that was Transformers Beast Wars, I want to take a closer look into my personal favorite episodes of this show. Season 2, Episode 9, Code of Hero, which just so happened to be the first episode of Beast Wars that was shown in the United States. This episode focuses around my favorite character, Dinobot, the former Predacon who would defy Megatron, leaving and joining our Maximal good guys. Dinobot, while fighting for the Maximals, is still very much a Pred, the bot prone to angry outbursts and pushing to solve problems through combat and violence. Though, despite all of this, Dinobot makes up a valuable member of the team, his honor as a warrior motivating him to fight for what he believes in. This episode begins with Dinobot venturing out on his own onto the Earth, wanting to finally put a stop to Megatron, who has made a diabolical discovery. Megatron realizes that with the power of the Golden Disc, he can see into the future of the Earth. He realizes that should he destroy our ancient pre-human ancestors, the Decepticons will never lose in their future war with the Autobots. Realizing this, Megatron orders his troops to destroy this lush valley where our pre-human ancestors had begun to settle. Dinobot watches on, realizing that the future is not fixed. His choices are his own. His destiny is his own, and he can still make a difference and make up for his past and his mistakes. As the Honor-Born warrior strides forward to face the Predacons alone. One by one, Dinobot battles the mini Predacons, defeating them but taking large amounts of damage in the process, until only 2 Predacons remain. With Dinobot's systems beginning to fail, his computer tries to force him into stasis lock to save his life, or else his spark will be extinguished. But Dinobot has come too far, and his final foe now stands before him, Megatron. The warrior overrides his computer, rerouting his final bit of power, ensuring that regardless of the outcome of the battle, Dinobot's spark will be extinguished. With his last remaining strength, the bot faces off against his former leader, who notes that Dinobot has been weakened by his compassion. With no weapons left, Dinobot takes up a large branch, combining it with a large rock, creating an ancient stone tool as he leaps at Megatron, striking him, sending the golden disc flying. Dinobot leaps up, grabbing the disc, and with his final grasp of power, he destroys it, saving humanity's future. Optimus and the other Maximal allies arrive in time to save the valley and send Megatron packing, but Dinobot's fate is sealed, the robot expending too much power. With his last breath, he managed to save humanity and the future as the Maximals give the bot a warrior's funeral. The last shot of our episode shows our pre-human ancestor being hunted by a large snake, but in a series of events, our ancestor manages to defeat it, while wielding a similar stone tool to the one that Dinobot used to defeat Megatron. Not only had the Predacon saved our species and the world, but he also gave us the tools we would need to survive and to become the advanced species we are today. Yeah, all that from just a little kid's show, huh? I guess the reviewers weren't joking when they said that this show really did have the best writing of any Transformer cartoons ever made. Overall, Transformers Beast Wars is one of those gems from the late 90s. While it is largely overshadowed by the following series, Transformers Beast Machines, which aired in the United States, Transformers Beast Wars would set the stage for success for the mini Transformers series to follow, while making massive jumps in the advancement and usage of CGI. Overall, many aspects of this show still actually hold up to today. The characters are fun and kooky and memorable. The series' story is complex and often very well written, with the continuity from the storyline making this show feel like a long series epic. Yes, the CGI obviously doesn't hold up to really anything from today. Surprisingly though, for its time, it's actually pretty good, many of these fight scenes coming off as intense from the use of CGI, which actually improved dramatically with every passing season. While American Transformer fans out there are probably more familiar with Transformers Beast Machines, it would be Transformers Beast Wars that would set the building blocks for this era of the Transformers franchise. Overall, this show was viewed as a large success, spawning a number of toys and video games, which makes sense seeing as it's Hasbro who owns the license. And ultimately, this show, like many other cartoons and anime, was just a promo for a company to sell their toys and merchandise. But the legacy of Beast Wars does live on, as later on this year, in 2023, we'll be treated to the newest edition of the Transformers movie series, Transformers Rise of the Beast. Now, if this movie's any good or not, who actually knows? But when you're out there, eating your popcorn in the theater, watching a crazy, giant, raging, robotic monkey, remember this movie's humble origins, a small little CGI show from the late 90s, Transformers Beast Wars. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video and want to see other kind of nostalgic content like this, then click the video on screen now, a video where we go over 4Kids TV's flagship show, Ultimate Muscle. As always, guys, I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Until next time, peace, love, Auto.
A love story that might be. We wasn't supposed to happen. So much talk around us. We became numb to the yapping. It was like 05. Got my license to drive. Picked you up in my pop's car.